Hey, what's going on, everybody? Manny here once again. Welcome to DFS Zone. I have a new video for you guys today, but before I get started, like always, I appreciate you guys drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, it's your first time here, you happen to stumble upon the channel, I thank you for stopping by and taking a look. I hope you like what you see. If you want to be a part of the community, the only thing you need to do here is basically become a subscriber. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure before you go, you subscribe down below. And don't forget to also put on your post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any of my new videos, which I post 6 times a week until the NFL season's over, Monday through Saturday. So with that being said, today is Wednesday. It's November the 6th. 2019. I hope you guys all had a great night last night and made some money. We have a 9-gamer to discuss today. And before I get started, my highest score was about a 340. I won some money back, but it was a losing night for me. I consider myself a losing night when I'm not profiting, but I did win some money back, so I didn't lose as much as I put in. So that's not bad either. I didn't lose the entire night, but nonetheless, it was my fourth night where I didn't do too well over the course of this season. So I'm like 9-4 or 10-4 right now as far as winning money or losing. So again, the idea here is to be consistent. Nothing is guaranteed, but hopefully you guys had a better night than I did. Okay, we're gonna just dive in. The beauty about DFS is you're gonna be able to do it all over again the next day, and that's what excites me the most, is that I can just go at it and grind it out again today, and that's what I intend to do. So we're gonna get right to it. First things first, before I get into the actual players that I'm looking at, if you want to be involved in a giveaway, I'm giving away a weekly pass with me giving you either a player pool option of your choice, a player pool or 1 or 2 lineups for 7 days in a row. So, if you want to be a part of that, the only thing you have to do is like the video, make a comment down below, of course, and do not forget to be a subscriber. You have to be all 3 to be eligible. And if you are interested in that, that's all you have to do. And I will announce the winner for this week on Monday of next week's video. Okay, let's get right to it. So at point guard today at the top, man, there are some interesting plays. Doncic, as we all know, is solid. 11,000, you need 55 to meet value. Hey, you know what? I think he's going to get there today. I will have exposure to Doncic, but like I've told you guys before, I'm going to tell you again, when I look at teams, especially in a slate like this where you got the Houston guys, Westbrook and Harden, and you got Doncic and KP, I usually like to play one of the 2 stars for those teams as opposed to both of them, unless they're really in a good competitive game where they're going to face a couple other stars. There's a good chance I might take both if the matchup is right. But in this case today, Doncic will be in some of my lineups, and then I also think that KP is going to be in some of my lineups as well, but not both together. And the same is to be said for Westbrook and Harden. I'm more on Westbrook more than Harden today, but at the same time, I will sprinkle in 1 or 2 lineups with Harden. You just have to with those guys with the amount of usage, shots, and of course the amount of minutes they play. But today, here at the top, I do like Westbrook a whole lot. So I'm going to go Westbrook. He had the day off. He's ready to go. He's going up against Golden State, a very favorable matchup for him. He's 10,300. His price tag on DK is even better, so you can play him there. I do like Luka Doncic better for DK than Westbrook. So if you are a DK player, I would probably recommend more looking into Doncic as being your stud guy there. But Westbrook is in play as well as Doncic, and at 10,003, he pretty much needs 52 here, 9,400 on DK. He needs 47. He's averaging 50 fantasy points, as you can see here thus far this year, but he has 60, 65, 70 points. He has 60 plus upside. There's just no doubt about it. He can get you 60, he can get you 65, he can get you 70 any given night, and that's the beauty of it. I do like him a whole lot here. He's coming in right now pretty much 21 points per game, nearly 10 rebounds. You can consider 10 rebounds and pretty much close to 10 assists. He is a double-double, triple guy almost every single night. As you can see, he had 1, 2, 3, 4 4 triple doubles thus far. Actually 1, 2, 3 triple doubles thus far this year, and 1, 2, 3, 4 double doubles. So he's gonna get it done. He takes more than enough shots. He gets more than enough usage time. His minutes are there. He's averaging about 30 minutes a game, pretty much. He's shooting 47% from the floor, 25% from 3, struggling from there. He never was a big 3-point shooter. He's streaky there, but he is definitely good at getting to the paint, getting to the foul line, and of course, being able to score around the basket. So I do like him a whole lot here. As you can see, 60 plus in his last game prior to the Miami game. He put up a 60, 52. He's at 3, 4, pretty much 52 plus in 4 out of his last 5 games or 6 games. So definitely a guy that can definitely give you 60 or 70. I love the matchup against Golden State. They're all banged up. I don't see how they're going to be able to hold him down. He is still taking massive shots. His usage rate is at 27% when he's on the floor, and when Harden is not on the floor, it's more closer to 30%. So he is going to get his shots. He's going to get his opportunity to get touches. He gets a lot of touches, and he has the ability to give you some steals, which is pretty good. He's not a big shot blocker, but he can get you the steals. He's taking 15, 16 shots pretty much from the floor and about 2 or 3 threes on average. Yes, 2 or 3 threes on average per game, but obviously is the shots, and of course him getting and driving to the paint and to the basket where he gets a lot of chances to go to the foul line. He's a pretty decent free throw shooter as well. He's going to go up against this team, Golden State. They are pretty banged up back there. They got a lot of young kids playing. They actually have been competitive, very surprisingly so. But Golden State is going to definitely have their hands full. Mr. Bauman is going to have a hard time holding down Westbrook today. Golden State has been allowing 30.8, pretty much 31 fantasy points per game. They did give up in their last outing to Damian Lillard 49, and prior to that, Terry Rozier put up 34. So it's going to be definitely a tough matchup for Bauman today. I do like Russell Westbrook. Other options you have, Trae Young obviously is in play. He is on a back-to-back. He played last night coming back from injury. And then, of course, Brogdon is also on the back end of a back-to-back, on the front end of a back-to-back. He played last night and actually went into overtime, but I do like Brogdon as well. It's just a little weary of the factors that they are playing on a front end, and they were in an overtime game last night. So always a little concerned that they might be a little tired. But they are playing the Washington Wizards, which really are a disaster. So nonetheless, he has a shot. And then Kyle Lowry's in a good spot with Sacramento. They definitely are poor. I mean, as much as I like De'Aaron Fox, he's not a good defender, man. He is more of a scoring point guard, not so much in defense. Kyle Lowry has been defending a lot better this year. He was always one that always struggled with defense, but he's a better defender, and he is playing really well right now. So he is definitely an option. And then Bledsoe is always that guy that you could put in there as a GPP at 6,500. He is capable of getting 45-50. He hasn't done it yet this year, but we know he has the ability to do that. We got to watch out this injury with Jeff Teague, 6,000. Jeff Teague is a nice play here if he plays. I like him even with Karl Anthony Towns back. But at the same time, if he is out, that opens up the doors for even more opportunities for some of the other guys on that team. And I don't think I'm in favor or I like anybody towards the bottom here today. You always have that Frank Ntilikina as someone you can consider for the Knicks. But then again, Ntilikina, if he gets into foul trouble, if he's not shooting well, they just, Coach Fizdale is still right now trying to figure out who are going to be his regular guys. And this is really a tough spot, but he's definitely strictly a GPP there for you guys. As shooting guard, we're going to go shooting guard. Obviously, I told you a little exposure to Harden, not a whole lot. D'Angelo Russell, before starting the video, I did get notification that he is out. So there is no D. Russell today. So my main guy, the guy I'm looking at here is Lou Will, and that's all due to the fact that there is no Kawhi Leonard. And I've been playing Lou Will for years now, and he always comes through for me, and especially when one of the superstars is out. He is the second go-to guy. When Kyle Lowry is out, he becomes the number one guy as far as scoring is concerned. We know he's not going to put up big blocks and steals. He's not a great defender, but he can definitely get hot scoring, and he's going to get a lot of touches, and he's going to have a high usage rate. His usage rate right now is at about 25%, and when Kyle Lowry is out, it's more closer to almost like 40%. That's how outrageous it is. When he is out, he usually is going to get a lot of opportunities to score. Hold on, sorry about that, guys. So Lou Will is definitely in play, man. He's coming in here 6,700. You need 33 from him. On DK 65, you need 32. He's averaging 30. He can get you 40. He hasn't had broken the bank quite that much here thus far this year, but he is more than capable of it. If he gets hot with his shooting and hits some threes, it could be very, very dangerous, man. He's averaging 20 points, 3.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. He's shooting 42% from the floor, 32% from three. He's also a pretty decent free throw shooter when he gets to the line, 79%. He's taking on average 16 to 17 shots a game. That's going to obviously increase here tonight. And he has also been taking about 2 or 3 threes a game as well. So, I mean, again, I do like the matchup for Lou Will just strictly because he's going to get a few more minutes and he's going to get a bit more usage here. He's going up against Milwaukee. Surprisingly, Kawhi Leonard not playing against Milwaukee is really a surprise for me. But then again, we're looking at the way it is right now. Lou Will definitely stands out as someone that I will have an interest in here. Milwaukee allowing 29.6 fantasy points per game thus far to opposing shooting guards. They did give up 32.5 to Andrew Wiggins and 36 to 48, to Harden. So Lou Will, I'm not expecting him to really just break the bank here. He can, but I think he'll definitely will make for a nice cash play, and he should be able to give you a nice GPP line here. I truly believe that. Lou Will. Other than Lou Will, I plan to have some exposure to Damian Lee. I like the kid in this position here. Houston definitely does struggle against point guards, against guards in general. So Harden and Westbrook are not the greatest defenders. I would think Westbrook is a better defender. Damian Lee should be someone you can definitely consider and put it in your player pool as well as pool. Other than that, I don't know. DiVincenzo could be someone. He's been getting some minutes. Trayvon Graham, if Jeff Teague is out, he got some minutes the last time. I wouldn't be surprised if Graham gets an opportunity to start here at 3,700. He's like pretty much almost bare minimum. He's someone to consider. You always got Wayne Ellington. He gets a few minutes with the Knicks. And then you got still, you never know with the Knicks. I mean, you got Trier here as well. Galloway's another guy that comes off the bench for Detroit in that New York game. He can be someone to consider if you wanted to go real cheap. But he'll be GPP play, pretty much those guys. Small forward at the top, we got Giannis. No Kawhi. I'm not high on Giannis today. I may sprinkle him in my quarter GPPs, just throw him in one lineup or something like that. I'm sure I can get him squeezed in, but he's not a top priority for me today. Come over here. At small forward, I'm really looking at Troy Brown here, to be honest with you. I do like TJ Warren, but I'm fearful of that back-to-back. And I think that Brogdon and Jeremy Lamb will be a little more appealing for me for Indiana if I'm going to play any one of those three, scorers for them. But TJ could be someone you can consider. Jonathan Isaac is another. Tobias Harris is in a great spot. I mean, not a great spot. This is a tough matchup, but he is at a great price, and obviously it's a great price because he's in a tough matchup and because Embiid is back. But 6,800 is pretty cheap for him. 6,800, only 34, and he's averaging 38, and he's capable of getting you 40 or better. So he's, as far as price, it'll be a nice little gamble, but it is a tough matchup. And, of course, you got Embiid back. Marcus Morris is going to be battling with his brother today. These guys always have great games against one another. I like Marcus Morris. I'm a Knicks fan. He's been playing really, really well, very competitive. $6,500 price tag. He's priced about right for what he's been doing. He could be someone you can take here. He's going to be fired up. But then again, the right thing to do is to take Markieff Morris at 4,300, which he's way down here. So I plan to have exposure to Markieff because he's $2,200 cheaper than his brother. And he's going to be a little fired up. He just gets into foul trouble a little bit more than Marcus has. So it hasn't been a great year for Markieff. But as a fantasy play, he will be a nice little play at 4,300. But I'm going to go, like I said, to Troy Brown, the youngster here. I think now the Washington Wizards are starting to realize that this kid has some talent. Let's put him on the floor and let's have him play. He's 4,000. You need pretty much 20 to me value. He's 4,500, actually $500 more expensive on DK, but I still think he's a fine play even on DK. I do obviously love him a lot more at 4,000 on Fanduel. And as you can see, it's a small sample, only 3 games, but nonetheless, pretty much 11 points per game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 27 fantasy points. He's at 27 fantasy points, obviously due to the last 2 games with the 25 and 40, but still, that is above his price range. At 4,000, you only need $20 to 20 fantasy points. And I could see him being a nice GPP play. If he could go out there and play 25, 30 minutes today and put up 35 to 40, that would be an awesome play. But I think that he could be a nice cash play, low price here on FanDuel for you guys today because he is for sure going to play anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. I truly believe that. So Troy Brown is definitely someone I do like here. He is right now, thus far this year, his shooting has been absolutely good. 57% from the floor, 33% from 3. He is shooting excellent from the free throw line. Small sample, they're only 6 times at the stripe, and he has hit all 6 of his baskets at 100%. And he's actually shown that he's a pretty good defender. He's had 6 steals in the last 2 games. So that is definitely something we love here as far as fantasy point totals are concerned. Those peripherals are very, very important. So again, Troy Brown, one of those guys that you definitely got to love. He's going up against Indiana. Not the easiest matchup. But then again, I do like the factors that Indiana is playing on a back-to-back, and they played on overtime last night. So I'm figuring maybe they may be a little tired. But they've been pretty good. They've been pretty good. Allowing only 15.3. That's pretty darn good against opposing small forwards. Cedi Osman played them twice, only put 24 and 21 respectively, and Miles Bridges 21. Other than that, everybody else has been really nobody other than those individuals that put up any points, and there weren't any not any big time top tier small forwards thus far has played against Indiana. But then again, that is still impressive, only giving up 15 fantasy points. But I still think at this price tag and the minutes and the chances that he's going to get, especially with this poor Washington team, I do believe that Troy Brown is an excellent play. Other than that, if you wanted to pay even lower, CJ Miles is consideration. Always Mo Harkless with no Kawhi Leonard. You got to consider Mo here at 3,600. You only need 15, 16. So if he plays 20 minutes and he can get you 20 to 25, which he's capable of, that will not be a bad play. We go with a power forward. At power forward at the top, you got, hold on a second. So at the top, you got Domantas Sabonis. He's more than likely out. Again, I told you Doncic. I like Doncic. In this particular video, I'm going to go with KP. He's 8,500 here on Fanduel. You need 43 to me value. He is 7,700 on DK, which is a nice price. You only need 37 there. I think he's definitely going to be able to get 40 in this matchup. This is not the easiest matchup. It is a little bit of a tough matchup because Orlando is really very stingy as far as points are concerned, so it's going to be low scoring. But I love the fact that he's playing at home and he's going to be up for this game. And I think he is definitely in a better position over Aaron Gordon than Aaron Gordon is on Kristaps. I'll be very surprised if Aaron Gordon, even though he is capable of getting 40 or 50, which he's not been playing at that level this year, be able to score 40 or 50 on KP. So I kind of like KP's matchup with Aaron Gordon a little bit better. Plus, they've had a little bit of trouble with, out of all the positions, the most fantasy point totals are coming out of Orlando are from the power forward position. So I think Kristaps is in a great spot here. But going in a little deeper on him, 20 points, pretty much 8 rebounds a game, 2.5 assists, 40 fantasy points. So you can see he had a 47 spot in his last game. He's been up in the 50s. So we know he's got 50-point potential. There's no his upside is there. He's been shooting fairly well. Okay, he's shooting 44% from the floor, 38% from 3. His usage rate is at 26%. Which is pretty good, taking 15, 16 shots a game and about 5 threes per game. All right. He's going up against Orlando. They're 27th in defending power forwards. It was the weakest position they have, and they've been giving up 35.4 fantasy points per game to opposing power forwards. They gave up 54 to Giannis, 39 to Randall, 37 to Siakam, 38 to Kevin Love. I do believe at this price tag that he is capable, KP, of putting up 40 to 45 in this matchup. And again, he is one guy that I like here right now. By the time the day's over, I may change my mind on this. So, I mean, if you have any questions, just comment down below and question me about it. But like I said, I will have exposure to Doncic, but not both of them together. So some lineups I might have a little bit of Harden with Doncic. Some lineups are going to be like this one where I have, Kristaps with Russell. So, I mean, it's going to be either or. Now, when it comes more to power forwards, other than this, he's the only one I really like up there in the top. A guy that could be a sneaky play is Julius Randle of the Knicks. I mean, he's 7,100. We know this guy is capable of being an $8,000 to $9,000 player. He's capable of putting up 50 or better any given night because he gets more than enough touches. He's just not playing well right now. But he is in a decent matchup here. He's facing somebody that's 22nd in defending power forwards, and he has a shot. You just never know with him. So he could be someone you can consider at 7,100 just simply because of his price tag and his upside. Strictly GPP right now for the way Julius Randle's been playing. You could go Horford there, and be back and all that. These guys are pretty balanced all the way across the board. Everybody's pretty good. They're all pretty good cash plays. I wouldn't consider anybody a GPP play here tonight for Philly. This is a tough matchup against Utah, but some of these guys are going to be a ride. As you can see, 7,000 for him is 35, and he's averaging nearly 40. So just like Tobias Harris, that price tag is low, and it's just simply because of the matchup. They're in Utah, they're playing Utah, and of course Embiid is back, so his price tag is down. It could be a nice little risk. You could take a stab at Al Horford. Aaron Gordon, like I said before, capable of getting a 40, 45, 6,500 could be an option, okay, because that's a little low. Jaren Jackson, if he's out, obviously you're going to consider Brandon Clark. But another guy that I like and I will have exposure to is down here in the lower tier is Al-Farouq Aminu. 3,900 in that game against or for Orlando against Dallas. They're going to need that size. He's been coming off the bench playing 20-plus minutes, and he's putting up pretty much a 1 point per minute. He's a pretty decent player when he's on the floor, and he can get you rebounds and he can get you some blocks. So Al-Farouq Aminu is someone to consider here at 3,900. You only need 19, and you always got O'Neal getting tons of minutes, 23, a little choppy, 23 to as much as 30 minutes. He's someone you can consider, and then Ilyasova is another one that you can consider. if you want to pay down and really save and be able to pay up for a couple of studs. At center, at the top, you got Drummond, Karl-Anthony Towns, both at 11K. I am on all over Karl-Anthony Towns. He's been out, okay? He's been out with that suspension for the fight. And as you can see, when he had that fight, he was already at 22 minutes, had 13, 6, 1, 1, and 2, already had 27 fantasy points. Could have probably had a 50-point night, 55-point night, who knows, give or take. And he's been just balling, man. He is definitely the heart and soul of the Minnesota Timberwolves. 46, he has a ceiling of almost at 80, and as you can see, 72 to 83 in his first 2 games, which is, I mean, incredible numbers. And he brings everything to the board. He can score, he can rebound, he can assist. If no Jeff Teague tonight, that's going to open up the assists again as well. And, of course, he defends quite well for a big. Look at this. Almost every single game he has had at least 1 or 2 steals or more, or 1 or 2 blocks or more. So you're getting really a top-notch player right here, no doubt, in a favorable matchup. Okay, so I like Karl-Anthony Towns there at 11-1. He's coming in here shooting 54% from the floor, and for a big, 53% from 3. He does struggle from the free throw line, so we don't want him to get to the stripe there. He's only shooting at 63% clip, but he gets there quite often. His usage rate is at 28%. If Jeff Teague is out, he's going to be definitely up in the 30s. So his usage rate will go up because he's going to have to give out more assists and actually even shoot a little bit more. He's taking 19 to 20 shots a game, and he's averaging about 9 threes per game. So he takes a lot of threes for big. And he is pretty darn good, as I already told you. He's shooting 53% from beyond the arc. So pretty darn good, man. I think Karl-Anthony Towns in a great spot against Memphis versus Valanciunas. Valanciunas, who doesn't play max minutes, usually 20 to 24, is going to have a really, really tough go here tonight with Karl-Anthony Towns, a well-rested Karl-Anthony Towns. Memphis 25th defending centers, which is rated down in the bottom of the league, allowing 24.3, which is not too bad. But they haven't faced no top tiers. Like I said before, you can look at the fantasy point totals, but you got to look to see who have they played against, who the opponents have been, and who have they had to defend. And at this point in time, they haven't faced anybody. This is a big, big test for the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. Baines put up 30, and then everybody else that faced them, Carter Jr., DeAndre Jordan, McGee, and Myers Leonard, all in the 20 to 27 fantasy point total, give or take. That's basically it. Karl-Anthony Towns should be able to smash Valley here today. He should be able to. I mean, it's in a great spot. Other than him, Embiid, obviously, with all the other 4 guys playing, Embiid is not on my list and playing against Utah. And he also a tough matchup with Gobert, who definitely defends well. Capella could be someone to look out for. The only problem is that he got Westbrook and Harden there taking tons of shots, so he may not get as many shots. But at 8,000 in a favorable matchup against Golden State, he should be targeted more. But at 8,000, it's a risk. Montrezl Harrell is definitely someone to consider at 7, and I think you got to consider Goga as well at 5,300, and I think that's about it. Wagner here is a surprise play here too. Watch out for Wagner. He's been playing 20 plus minutes and putting up 1 point per minute. So at 3,900, he's definitely a nice play at night. You only need 1920 to meet value, and he's going up against Indiana, which, right now because of their injuries, they are one of the weaker defending center teams defending centers. And that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it, guys. So that's where I'm at. Westbrook, Williams, Brown, Porzingis, and Towns. You can utilize them also on DK. And like I said, there's a couple of guys I like on DK as well, which is Doncic for sure at his price tag. Porzingis is even cheaper over there. So, again, man, drop a like on the video. Make sure that you comment down below if you want to be in the giveaway. And don't forget to be a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And I wish you guys a lot of luck. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.